is that Penrith need to win by 47. St Helens need not to get beaten by more than 10. Bill Harrigan's in charge. Penrith will run from left to right. St Helens' first use of the football. And a slight breeze will favour the English side as Matautia, big second row forward, comes back to his own 20-metre line. Sound of fireworks in the background. Let's hope that St Helens can find some of that tonight. One of the great rugby league clubs of the world, but they certainly haven't provided it during the World Club Challenge. Not here in Australia anyway. That's the back row forward, Carl Hammond. His first touch. And a shocking pass sees the fullback Haig having to urgently get across, and that's the end of a terrible tackle count, or set of 6 for St Helens. Matt Adamson. Domick. Phil Adamson. Cunningham, the number 9. First up in the tackle. Now on the left of the ground. Gower playing at number 7. Domick. Being told by their coach not to worry about the assignment of 47 points. Pulatua. Danny Farrer, dummy half for Penrith. To the right. Gower. Face pass for Matt Adamson. Defence holding. 5 tackles gone for the Panthers. Long ball across for a grubbing kick from Gower. There's a try coming. Oh! Uprights obscured my first vision of it. And he's bringing it out to the 20-metre line.
Well, I'm sure he was offside anyway. That player wasn't picked up. St Helens get the 20-metre tap. He had to be in front of the kicker, Jorgensen, and he's tapped it forward, knocked it forward. That's why the St Helens team tapped it out. Now they're doing it very hard, getting out of their own 30-metre zone.
Leatham just beyond his own 30-metre line and away through Hammond to Matautia. 40-metre line underneath Matautia as St Helens get their second set. That is Pickavans playing it back for Cunningham, who we've been impressed with, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of Peter and Paul when I say that. He's been very, very good. The number 9 for St Helens, Kieran Cunningham. Penrith then get the football back for their second chance. Second use of the night. Jason Williams. Pulled down over there by the number 21, Alan Hunt. Great Britain representative Hunt, but playing in the centres. Pulatua. Still of school age. Oh, and a bad mistake by Penrith. And that will take some of the pressure away from St Helens for a scrum about 37 metres out from their own line, centre of the park. This is what happened.
Yeah, Jody Gore just having a look at the defence coming up. His eye off the football. Greg Alexander, who wants to play tonight, was quoted in the press today as saying that he thought that if St Helens scored a try, then that would be too much for Penrith to overcome. And that would take the necessary target over the 50 points. So really, Penrith have got to be very, very good at both ends of the field. Take advantage of their opportunities and also don't concede points.
Paul Newlove. Scurry away from the dummy half area by Anthony Sullivan. They go to the back line and Hammond picks up Matautia. That's Haig in from the back. They're just inside the 40-metre line. Goulding. Joint. Off at an angle. And a good break made by St Helens. The pass looked as though it went forward. to Anthony Sullivan from Paul Newlove.
Well, they look pretty good with the football, don't they, St Helens? Harrigan calls the forward pass. A nice bust made by Paul Newlove. Good angle running. He beat an ordinary tackle there, and away he went. A desperation dive there from Jorgensen that saved the try.
Yeah, big Phil Adamson on the inside there, missed the tackle. And Newlove, we've been waiting for him to explode for the last couple of weeks. It hasn't happened. Tonight he might be primed for a big one as now Penrith work it out from their own danger area. Taking a few chances in doing so.
That was Jody Gall, who speculated a pass back on his own 10-metre line. That's the sort of thing that Roy Simmons was talking about not trying, certainly not at this time of the night. Jason Williams got a bad ball. Good run by Williams, though. He's angled back. Now, Steve Carter back tonight after 4 weeks out.
And that's the problem coming into matches where you have to score points when you know what the target is. You'll tend to throw the last pass when maybe in another game when you're just worried about the victory, you'll take the tackle.
Hammond, 31 metres away from the Penrith line. On the left of the ground, it's with Pickavance now. St Helens. Good attacking position. Goulding. Mueller. 11 out. On the right. It's with Long and then on for Hammond. Carter making the tackle. Matautia away. They use the short side and the kick by Long. Fielded by Williams. And he's 8 metres away from his own line. Jorgensen comes in from the back. Run to the Union International. Farrell. McNamara. Phil Adamson. Putting some vigour into his work. To the 40-metre line. Farrell looks on the blind side. Nobody running. The runner was on the open side, Jody Gall. Here's Gower using him now on the halfway line and beyond. A good run by Gall. One-handed pass. Matt Adamson puts on a left foot step, puts a kick in to beat the fullback.
Well, we seem to have a problem with our communications with Penrith. The game poised at 0-0. And a great start from St Helens so far, and unlucky to be denied a try.
We hope not. It couldn't have cut off at a worse time, was it? It was a very tight situation for them. It could be trouble. Maybe that was the St Helens Gremlins getting into the line there. Here it comes back to the scene, and is this a try? Let's have a look at it. Great chip from Addison, a good break. Oh no. Johnny on the spot, looks like Ryan Girdler again. Come up with a great early try for them. It was an encouraging start from St Helens, just need to tighten their defence up around the rucks a little bit. A few too many easy yards being made. A great run there from Phil Adamson, set it up. There's Matt Adamson taking the opportunity, and it is Girdler beating Bobby Goulding to the line. And unfortunately, after a great start, St Helens are down. Clever play. Matt Adamson's been sensational in this series, hasn't he? He's used his strength and size and speed to its full extent.
Well, he used it there. Looks as though the Saints' great start has come to a fairly abrupt end. We can return to the Penrith Football Stadium now and rejoin our commentary team.
Lovely stuff. And Ryan Girdler from in front. 11 metres out straight between the posts. We'll take a break. It is 6 points to nothing. Penrith over St Helens at the 8th minute. .6-0 for Penrith. Try. Oh, that's a knock on. Oh, Helens let it go. Matautia brings it away. Let's go to the replay and have a look at what I think was a knock on. Yeah, it's a knock-on for sure. He's dead set got to be kidding. Anyway, let's not worry about it. This is Pick Vance, just beyond the 40-metre line. Newlove coming down a rather narrow blindside, having a very big start to the game, Paul Newlove. As I said here last Monday night, we were led to believe that he was rated as the #1 centre in the world by the British correspondents when we were there in 1994. I thought that was a little bit extravagant at the time, but he is a very fine player. Goulding getting it across the touchline. Scrum will pack 10 away from the Penrith line and 20 in with the Super League.
One of the biggest problems for the English side is maintaining pressure against the opposition. Already we've seen them down this end of the field a couple of times. Jason Williams made a 30-40 metre burst to get them out of trouble. And they just missed simple tackles to allow the Australian teams out of their own danger territory. Let's have a look at this next set of 6 if they can come up with a better set in defence. Force Penrith to kick deep from their own area.
Very interesting formation from the scrum by Penrith there. They had one on the blind side. They went to him. He was lined by 3 St Helens defenders. All this was down on the 10-metre line, obviously.
Well, they're doing
and of course,
that.
Then they spread it quickly to the left.
Yeah, doing that to open up the field. It's not bad tactics from Roy Simmons. He knows that the St Helens defence isn't that crash shot. There'll be gaps out wide, and he's looking to exploit that early.
Gower, Adamson again. Phillip is with it, or Phil. As Farah gets a delayed play the ball because of Goulding's presence. Gower's kick is grubbing along the ground down to the 10-metre line. Andy Hay. Young fullback. Left elbow. Quite heavily protected. This is Anthony Sullivan. That is Joint. Now Leatham. Big lump of a boy. Dummy on the outside by Cunningham. They come back down the left of the ground. And after Hammond had been tackled, Goulding's kick is purposeful onto the goal line for Williams. Around Goulding. Takes the tackle of Hunt. Coming in as Arnold, trying to arrest Jorgensen as Goulding gets some help from Pick Vance.
That will be one of the pluses for St Helens tonight, the kicking game of Bobby Goulding. You saw there, when he caught the football, he realised he had plenty of time. He ran up to the defence, looked for the best place to kick the football and found open space. And he'll be doing plenty of that tonight and hoping that the chasing team is a good one.
Here's Girdler now. 35 away from his own line. Williams stepped around, down the sideline, Girdler. Pulled down by the fullback Hay, but they're on the St Helens 30-metre line. Danger for the English side. Carter, away from Long, got a pass away to Farah. Farah for Gower. Gower puts a grubbing kick in. Here's a chance, it's been raked over the ball line. I'm just wondering whether Gower was taken out.
Well, he slipped over or fell over, whether he was touched by a St Helens player and pushed. Gee, the St Helens defence is ordinary, isn't it? And he was taken out by a player coming over and shouldered him out of the way. It should have been a penalty to Penrith.
Line drop out though, we'll see Penrith come back with the football.
Tony Arnold just got the push out in time there. Newlove about 3 metres offside from the restart, but that's play on. Jody Gore heads back in field.
Laid the first try together for Penrith, did Jody Gore. This is McNamara, who captained last Monday night. It's a penalty to Penrith. I think Bill has ruled that there were 2 in the tackle.
Yeah, Andy Leatham taking the football out, the restart. Big tap, Danny Farah takes it forward.
Phil Adamson then. Pulatua. Bouncing away from a shocking attempt to tackle. He's over the line, the young man. Second try for Penrith. There's 10 of the points on the board. 37 to go.
Is that a sign of things to come? Penrith are doing it very easily at this stage. Very sloppy and poor St Helens defence. There's the penalty. 2 in the tackle, you can't steal the football. And then 2 tackles later from the quick tap, it's Pulatua. I mean, he's not even running hard. He's got a nice step on him, though. And tragic defence.
And Matautia is the man that has come up with a lot of misses tonight. There he is there. Only got his hands on him, and then it's too much work to do for the cover defence and coming across there. A one-on-one miss 5 metres out from the line. It's always going to be a 4-pointer. And quite probably a 6 with Ryan Girdler adjacent to the posts.
Well, there's been some very good contributions by some of these players. In fact, this man coming off, Matautia, has been busy. Nobody's been better than you, Love. But they've been let down by some atrocious defence. It has let Penrith in for 2 tries. Girdler then with the attempted conversion. 108 points now. His personal tally at 10 points to 0. 2 tries, 1 to Pulatua. And of course the other to Girdler. Girdler has added the extras, so he's got a personal tally of 8 in this match. And this is it from another angle. And as much as you'd like to delight in what Pulatua did here, you've got to be aghast at the defence. Let's go down to the sidelines. Greg Alexander was to have returned here against Bradford Northern last Monday. Then he was listed for this match against St Helens tonight. When will he be back, Andrew Voss?
Well, the story, Ray, he's had setback after setback. He really was determined in particular to make his comeback tonight, but because he's been out for so long, it's the ligaments in his feet that have tightened up, so he's got all sorts of problems. Along the way, he's also had a clot in his leg. So, as I say, setback after setback. If he's not back now next Sunday against Brisbane, he'll definitely be back on Friday week when the Panthers play the Bulldogs in the Telstra Cup.
All right, Andrew, thank you for that. While you're there, the breeze value, is there a breeze value?
Yeah, the breeze is definitely at the back of St Helens tonight. It's a southerly, but really not worth any great points value.
Have you done the equation here? You're quite confident we got it right?
Oh, yeah, I'm very confident that Penrith can not only rack up 46 points, but can keep St Helens scoreless on the opening to this match.
Here's a kick down the ground that has found the touchline conveniently for Bobby Goulding and his team, about 12 metres out from the Penrith line. He's a very good kicker of the ball, Bob Goulding, and this was another example of it. But they made some changes. I'm trying to remember, I think it was the 94 Kangaroo Tour. And on that occasion, Sean Edwards had the number 7. And then it was Goulding who came along to take his place. And every time Goulding got the job, Great Britain seemed to go a lot better. This is Domick, and I read that Sean Edwards is doing some fine things at the moment with London Broncos.
Oh, he's a good player. Sterling got a big rap on Sean.
Jody Goulding. Penrith with 2 tries on the board.
I'd rather have Bobby in the side.
Incisive comments there from Sterling. St Helens now, just outside the 30-metre line. A Penrith mistake. They really will beat themselves, Penrith, as far as this points chase is concerned. If they don't tidy up possession, particularly down in their own territory. Pickavans. Cunningham. Oh, St Helens have given them a little bit back. Jorgensen out to his 20-metre line. We go back to Telstra Cup. Next Monday is our first return to it. Williams and Harrigan calling it back. It went forward. I think Danny Farrer got a hand on it. It went forward and Girdler raked it in.
And you can see how desperate Penrith are to win this game, because every time there's a half break made, there is 2 or 3 supporters there. Every bust. That's a good sign for them, but you've got to execute well.
Sullivan picked off in defence by McNamara. 5-2 the handling errors, and Penrith on the worst side of that, which has been typified. Goulding! Oh, Matt Adamson said thank you very much. Sid Domick.
I mean, if St Helens can control the football, I think they can actually score a couple of tries tonight, because they've made 2 or 3 breaks like that and the ball has gone to ground. We've seen Newlove make a couple of breaks and then Goulding. So they've looked all right with the football, but the defence is just atrocious at this stage.
Well, he's given them plenty of time to get off the tackled player. McNamara takes it just a couple of metres into St Helens area. On the way to the ground for Gower to put it on the boot again. No pressure on him. Andy Haig. See, they were entitled to come inside the 10 because Haig played at the ball. It's Arnold coming away from the right. And now Newlove steps. Down the centre is Long. The chase is on. Sullivan's got a heap of speed. Sullivan goes in to score. The words of Paul Vorton still echoing. Control the football, you'll score some tries. And they did.
And it was,
words from the former great Saint himself.
Oh, he just loves it, doesn't he? How good is he? But Danny Arnold is the man who brings the football around and sets his try up. So he comes here, and as we freeze it there, you can see he attracts this defender, and this Penrith player comes in as well. They both come in, and as play continues, he's able to get the football away to Newlove, and they're in space. He does well off the left foot, Newlove. A great ball to Long, who did well to be backing up on the inside. I think that he had enough pace to score the try in front of Jorgensen, but he made a bird of it, giving it to the quickest man in the side, Anthony Sullivan. It's a tremendous try. They've just got to be able to do it defensively now.
Yeah, some ordinary defence there, and well done St Helens. They've got plenty of speed in the team, we know that. Long probably could have got there on his own, and Jorgensen had to check and regather, and away he went. Not good enough.
And the kick for conversion is coming. Sullivan, the try scorer, and it's there. So we'll go to a break. 12-6 the score. Penrith over the St Helens Saints. The Saints kick off. McNamara. Matt Adamson putting his body on the line. Strong stuff, aggressive stuff. Jody Goal! Big run! Opens them up! Here's the winger! Hinson! Now Farah! Hinson goes back to support him. 10 metres out from the line. He seems certain to score. Scrambling by St Helens. Goal again. Farah. Gower. Carter. Ooh, hard pass. Phil Adamson. 5 metres out from the line. Carter. Carter's over. Carter plants it down. So they come back. Penrith straight back quickly.
Well, they've done reasonably well, St Helens, to regather after the initial break. It's just arithmetic that they're falling down on St Helens. They're not getting the numbers where the Penrith players are. Danny Farah coming back inside. A pass well picked up there by Hinson again. They scrambled well for another 3 tackles, and then on the last, Steve Carter skirts around, ducks low, gets the ball on the line. Bill Harrigan said that's good enough. Look at Sullivan, at Hunt, at Marker there. He's got his hands up in the air. How's he going to make a tackle if he's got his hands up in the air?
Well, he can't. And that's why Carter, who gets low, he's only a little chap, and drove his legs hard and got over.
Well, Steve Carter, of course, has been at Penrith a good many years. I think he joined from Woi Woi or Wyong, one of those Central Coast towns, but he's been magnificent for Penrith. Girdler from a fairly wide point on the ground, and he's missed it, which is refreshing, I suppose, in one way. At least we know he is quite human still. 16-6. Another view of the try. Steve Carter. There was a groan from a very small section of the crowd, thinking that it might have been a knock-on. But I think it might have been our director, actually. He's the only one barracking for St Helens. Darren Brown goes on, and that will only add to the St Helens woes. Brown is another ball player. This is Leatham. Putting together some decoys, trying to take a little bit of heat away from the ball receiver. Cunningham's pass was bad. Pickavance gets it on. This is Joint. And they're just outside the 40-metre line. Their own end of the park. Short passing to Long. Steps. Very elusive. Back now for Gould. This kick. Down, looking for position rather than the touch line, which he has found accurately several times tonight.
And I'll tell you, if St Helens players played with the same enthusiasm as their captain Bobby Goulding, they'd be much more competitive in this club challenge. He kicked the football down there, he missed the tackle, but he got up off the ground and went in to help a teammate complete the tackle. He really does put in a lot of effort, a lot of second efforts. And it's a shame that he doesn't have more teammates doing exactly the same thing. Mistake there, well, both ways, double knock-ons, but it will be a St Helens feed.
Got a finger dislocation there on Bobby Goulding. Quieting down for a little while. Paul Newlove. Goulding's okay. Hammond. And this is McVeigh. Derek McVeigh, formerly, of course, with the Balmain club. Chris Joint gets rid of one of the Panthers. In fact, it was Henson. Unloaded him very quickly. Pickavance. They're 12 metres out from the line. And their second real opportunity. McVeigh again. Penalty.
Pulled by the jersey, fellas. Pulled him back off the ball.
And it goes to the St Helens club.
Yep.
Bobby Goulding finding the line. Backwards to go forward.
This is where Saints will be looking for Kieran Cunningham to take advantage of a quick play of the ball. Seen him score a try and go close a couple of times. And there's a bit of a chance.
Oh, the fullback's in to score. Hey! Well, they hit him on the chest. He was flying through the air. I'm not sure that a couple of people know exactly what's happened, but Andy Haig has gone over to score the second try for St Helens.
Hey, don't worry about Cunningham. Just put Haig into a gap. That was McVeigh's charge. They play the ball. There was the penalty. They decided to kick for touch. And they scored straight away. As we freeze it there, it's a big gap between two Penrith defenders that's taken advantage of. That's a big gap to leave out wide. The pass was an absolute beauty. Cut out Newlove. Haig actually had to stop and wait for it to a certain degree. But he had enough space and enough speed to get across. So they've hit back well, not far out from half-time.
And Penrith not reading that at all, that play. Just didn't number up. That's what St Helens have been doing all night. And now Penrith have paid the penalty for doing exactly the same thing.
So Andy Haig.
So one feels as though the 47 might be out of their reach now. They've got 10, St Helens.
And they need one more point, St Helens. Would that not elevate them into that situation of playing the winners of the European Group B, which is Paris? Well, Andrew will have those details for me in just a moment. Just looking at the co-commentators, it's a very vacant look on their faces as Bobby Goulding hits the upright. So they're trying to break 10, but they haven't done it yet. It is 16-10, Penrith over St Helens. So St Helens restarting. Andrew, just on that point I raised on St Helens and the points that they have to score.
Well, the story for St Helens, if they get beaten by more than 10 points tonight, then it's Warrington that'll get ahead of them into the quarterfinals. And just on the Penrith equation, just adding to that, the teams supporting St Helens tonight, probably more so than any other, are the Cronulla supporters and the Cronulla players, because they were the side that was in danger. If the Penrith achieved that 46-point, that 47-point target tonight, Cronulla would be the side to drop out.
Yeah, Ravs, that vacant look you were talking about, you're actually looking in the mirror.
Gower. Point taken. Thank you, Archimedes. Boyd. Now Farah. Gower. Carter. Leaves Girdler out of it. Williams knocks on. And Bill Harrigan has ordered the turnover. Play by Hammond before Goulding. And then across from Long. Newlove. Oh, got rid of Sid Domick easily. Domick will know not to try and snatch and grab on Paul Newlove in future. Big right hand fed. Sullivan. Cunningham. Leatham. 40-metre line. 16-10. McVeigh. Cunningham handle. Hunter's with it. Pulled down by Pulatua. 33 away from the Penrith line. Not too far from half-time. Goulding and Long. Long. Very, very evasive. Joint scooping it away for his captain and halfback. And it's a very high kick by Goulding. And in the field of play, Peter Jorgensen. Easily away from Pickavans. Picked up by Haig. Worked by the fullback. Put himself there in the attack, in the chase. Now Williams. Oh, it looks like Carter might have been taken out in back play. Halfway line. Darren Brown. Sid Domick. A hole and Domick's away. Domick picks up another try for Penrith. 20-10.
Yeah, that's good stuff from Penrith. End-to-end stuff from them. They've come from their own goal line in 3 tackles. They've come up with a try. A beautiful ball from Darren Brown. Rabbits picked it. Oh, he's a beautiful ball player, this kid. And he's put Domick through a yawning gap there. And Domick he's got plenty of pace too, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he might have got pushed off by Paul Newlove only moments ago, but Newlove here, no man's land. Has got no idea what to do. He comes in on Darren Brown. His man's on the outside. He just had to stay with Domick because the ball carrier, Brown, was covered by an inside defender. Very poor defence there from Newlove. Domick took advantage of a great ball from Darren Brown, who was capable of doing that all night to get another 4-pointer.
Sid Domick came to Penrith from the Brisbane Broncos. Originally from Rockhampton. And it will be Girdler, who's missed with 1 conversion tonight. 20-metre line and 17 in, and he's missed it again, Girdler. Well, it's not the usual Ryan Girdler at 20 points to 10, and Darren Brown.
Well, the one thing that St Helens have got to do tonight is to chase the kicks and stay together. That try there from Domick, it came in 3 plays in the other end of the field. Even if they go up as slowly as they can, as long as they go up together and keep one line, that would be much better than going up in dribs and drabs and allowing the likes of Jorgensen and Williams to cut them up and bringing the ball back.
5.5 minutes to the halftime break. This is long. Northey is on. Pickavance is off. It doesn't surprise me. He was beaten easily by Jorgensen at the other end of the ground. He just looked like he was tired, needed a bit of bench time. Leatham, he's built like trying to think of what he does. He reminds me of one of those front row forwards from South Africa on Saturday night. He's a real roly-poly, but he has got no regard for his head. Puts it down like a ramrod. Jorgensen takes them on a bit like a Terry Regan or a Ronnie Gibbs. Hinson put away on his own 20-metre line. McVeigh and Hammond, the chief tacklers. Matt Adamson in again. Just a few showers of rain in Sydney today. And temperature's not too bad for a winter's night. Gower goes back, Gall goes forward. And that's play on. Farah scoops it away. Gower's there again. And coming to Goulding, puts the kick in. But it is into touch.
Yes, and Penrith players there just standing back waiting for the next play. And then when Gower looked out wide, there was no one there at all. So he thought the best option was to put the kick in. It's a nice play from one side of the ruck to the other, and then an inside pass to Phil Adamson, who's playing just as well as his brother Matt. And then Gower looks up, there's no support, so he puts the kick in, but there's no one there at all.
There's Hunt. Long run by the centre to the 40-metre line. This is long. Now Goulding. Cross now for McVeigh. Shoveling it down. Sullivan is with it. Taken by Boyd. Played back for Newlove. Newlove wrapped up by Boyd around the legs. Henson over the top from Cunningham. Threw it away from Hammond. That is Northey. And again Cunningham. Down the blind side goes Chris Joint. A few metres inside the 40. Goulding comes back from the open to work on the blind side. Henson, then Cunningham, now Hammond, and it'll be a scrum. Just outside the 10-metre point. To 10. 2.5 minutes to the break. Carter's through. Outside the 30. And the 40. Long picks him up on the halfway. Not held. Not held again. Puts him down for the third time. Lucky. Williams. Taken by Long again. Is there anybody else out there? Hello, Jorgensen! Jorgensen!
Well, that's a very big play there from Carl Hammond, the back rower for St Helens. Jorgensen was through, he put the kick over, and the big fella there, he's a bit roly-poly himself. He showed good speed. Steve Carter, he's been around a long, long time. He was never going to have enough speed to beat Long, but the persistence was there. Does he get 3 tackles for that Long? He should do.
Gets 3 and gets 3 misses.
And then McVeigh, he was nowhere near making the tackle, but a good job from Hammond to get there and come up with the try saver.
Yeah, there was a bad tackle down the other end by Andy Haig on Carter. It looked like he just went for the shoulders. It looked like he was brushing a spider off his shoulder.
Well, there's a lost ball. 1.5 out from half-time, so the Panthers will have another opportunity.
So Penrith by 10 as we come to the break. Boyd packing in a prop. Well, he'd have to be the shortest prop forward ever. Brett Boyd. And I think, yes, in fact, they have. Against the fee.
The prop's
Brett
got the
Boyd,
footy.
honestly, Brett Boyd's head did not come up to the hooker's armpit.
Well, I'm never going to push him off the ball, but as McVeigh gets one over the top to Arnold, but I'm still trying to work out how the front row got the football out of the scrum for St Helens.
This is Arnold. That's a good point. Here's the scrum again.
That'll do, mate.
Well, he's obviously ruled that it was clear of the scrum. Joint. 40-metre line. Hammond. He's worked hard, the back rower. Goulding. There's the siren. Half-time is with us. And the Penrith, needing to win by 47, are not on cue. They're in front by 10 as we take this break. We'll be back to Penrith Stadium.
And
point victory. We will play Penrith in the quarter-final at the Stoop on the weekend of October the 4th. If that's not the case, we will play Cronulla. So as it stands now, it does appear that we will be playing Cronulla. This is all assuming, of course, that Brisbane win tonight. Look at the possession there. That's pretty handy for St Helens, given the half they're going into. 51% means that there should be plenty of gas left in the tank. That's the key one. They've played 7. They've held the ball not enough times. They've had 17 times possession, held it for 6 tackles 7 times. Now that's turning the ball over far too often. They're the key stats there. Everything else is fine for them. The total tackles is a real key. They've only made 78 as against Penrith's 93. All of this means that they should have energy left. Of course, the crucial one is the missed tackle, which I think they rectified in the last 5 minutes. They started to come up with them. Key tackles.
we saw Sean Long there, and there's Chris Joint as well. They'll be looking for a big second half from Chris Joint, the man for the occasion. And Tony Pulatua as well, we spoke about him earlier on. He's scored one of the tries and had an impressive match as well. Well, we can go back to the Penrith Football Stadium now. Bill Harrigan getting ready to get the second half underway. Let's rejoin our commentators.
Panthers by 10. Last round of the challenge at Penrith Stadium. This is Matt Adamson before Brett Boyd. Picked up and put down heavily by Northey. Gore. Just inside the 40-metre line. Penrith with first use of the football, second half. McNamara on 5. So the kick from Gower. Australian Super League jumper for Craig Gower this year. Haig has been tackled and forced. Ah, Craig Gower. He did it himself. He put the kick in. And then he has driven a man much bigger than him back into the in goal.
Great effort from Craig Gower. Put the kick in, then went hard in the chase. Tricky bounce there for Haig. And it was a second tackle also from Steve Carter. Gower had him, but then Steve Carter came in.
Line drop out. Bad. Pulatua. Some Faraday for McNamara. Falling at the feet of Northey. Matt Adamson. 10 metres out. Just inside it. Danny Farrar looks on the blind, comes back to the open. Gower pushing it along the line. Carter and Girdler knocks on. Bill Harrigan will play the advantage. That's the 0 tackle for Haig.
Yeah, poor pass there from Steve Carter.
St Helens 12 metres out from their own line, and that tackle was up around the head on Arnold. Second man for McVeigh, and the famous, or the infamous whistleblower is with us at Penrith Stadium as Long makes a dart to the 40-metre line on fire. Cunningham for Goulding. Goulding's driving kick finding the line. 15 out from the Penrith line. Let's go to Andrew. He's been eavesdropping, I think is the word.
Well, actually, Ray had a chat with Sean McRae right after he came out of the rooms. Look, he was very frank with these players at half-time. He really did think their one-on-one defence was terrible. That he just thought that they were a chance of more points. He was happy with what they were doing with the ball, and it just gets back to hunger. How badly do they want to place in the quarterfinals if they can contain Penrith tonight? And from the Penrith room, a bit of treatment too for Craig Gower at half-time. A problem with his left ankle, but they think he'll be all right. But if they do lose sight of the target, then he may be hauled off early. And Roy Simmons, he really did think that just the thought of that 47-point margin was putting his team off. It's back to square one for this half, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty obvious, Andrew, on several occasions in the first half. Here's Carter. Rounded up there by Hammond. And he's ruled that he's lost it in the play of the ball.
Well, there's no way knowing he lost it in the play of the ball. It was the St Helens player who came in and interfered. The referee claiming that he called play on. Steve Carter thought that the tackle had been completed. He thought about running off, but he got up to play the football and was knocked out by Derek McVeigh.
Now there's a chase on Arnold. Chance for St Helens. 2 metres from the line. From Hunt into the middle. Gilding. That's Leatham. Cunningham heading for that left-hand corner. Now for the try line. 2 metres away. Gilding. Northey. McVeigh. Penrith having their line attacked. Long. 5 away. 5 tackles gone. Goulding. Snaps a kick in. Jorgensen.
Well, the element of surprise there, so close. St Helens scoring a try, kicking from the scrum win. The last thing in the world that the Penrith side expected. And he did well to pick the football up, Arnold. Got to give a rap for the Panthers to get back. There's Arnold. All the Penrith players going forward. If only Arnold had have been able to realise that there was a player in support in Hunt, he could have found him after picking it up. They'd have scored for sure. But tremendous work there from the English side.
Penrith then. Penrith! Pulatua! Crunched from behind by Alan Hunt. Boyd. Now caught up. Girdler's in for his second try.
Yeah, great stuff there from the Penrith side. They turned defence into attack. And it's a barnstorming run from Pulatua. He's been very impressive tonight. Look at this ordinary defence from St Helens. He had support, took the man on, took Haig on. Hunt came from behind, and then it's just a matter of, had to get over the line. Good ball here. Carter does well. Nice dummy. The St Helens defence had come up. Arnold had come up. And they finished it off well.
Well, there's probably 4 or 5 missed tackles there that they were just one-on-one. Hammond. Steve Carter went straight through. Much bigger man, Hammond, but Carter just brushed him aside.
Girdler. The attempted conversion of his second try. 2 metres in from touch. He's hit it beautifully. Girdler's done it again. 26-10. A delight to watch. And this was a delight for Penrith. Great to have him back, Carter. And they may be the words of Ryan Girdler. Andy Haig. pushing it back. Cunningham. Newlove. Ooh, heavy tackle by Boyd. Sullivan. Now.
Okay. Lost, fellas, lost.
Lost the football, St Helens. And once again, Kieran Cunningham, he's having another enormous game. Very strong tackle. Newlove. Self-preservation came into it there. He just dropped the football.
Penrith. Ideal opportunity. Pulatua. Farrell's looking for his playmaker. Boyd. Bobby Thompson's on. Gower. To the 10-metre line. Gower goes all the way. Craig Gower puts it under the crossbar. 30 points to 10. They've extended that lead in the last couple of minutes.
What do you say about defence like that? Derek McVeigh, he didn't go up in the line. Craig Gower stepped back, and McVeigh just came up with a shocking attempt. And that's really, you know, if you can't make one-on-one tackles in the game of rugby league, the scoreline is just going to continue to mount, and the Panthers will run away with this. The last 2 tries is evidence of that.
Two tries for Girdler, and he's added all the extras to take Penrith to a 32 points to 10 lead at the 49th minute. Restart by Penrith, and it is McVeigh who brings it away. 12 metres from his own line. Alan Hunt. Oh dear. Matt Adamson wrapping himself around Northey. It's Cunningham now. Good run away from dummy half. 12 metres out, in fact, from his own red zone. Newlove is met by Domick. Sullivan is there trying to dance his way through the defence. Scored a try, Sullivan, earlier. Joint to the 30 for Goulding. Bouncing down inside the 40. Jorgensen using Williams. Williams taken by Goulding. Away from that. Eventually he's been held by Morley, who's on in 24. Domick. Farah looking for a call. Gets it from Thompson. Wrestled down eventually by, I think that's Pickavance who's back on. One-handed pass. McNamara was there. He badly needed another runner. Gower. Carter steps off his right foot and is 32 metres away from the line. Penrith have got a lot of points to score. Gower. Left foot grubbing kick. The support is there, but it was also there from St Helens.
The winning rotary number 011-867.
That's Joey Hayes on in jumper number 2, and we go to this replay.
This was Northey coming across, just taking the ball off Girdler's foot. Now work it out. Ethan again. It's a strong charge forward.
Goulding. Joint. Centre ground, 40 metres out. It's Morley. To the halfway line. Short passing from Goulding for Long. A chip and a chase.
Well, he's pulled Long up for a high tackle. Nice chip and chase.
Which way you want to go, mate?
They've got to try something different at Helens. Oh, please. Unbelievable. Tap
just inside the 40-metre line. Boyd taking it across. McNamara. Matt Adamson makes a mistake. That's embarrassing, really, for Penrith. And New Love. 7 metres into Penrith's area. Goulding. Quick passing. Through from Hammond. And that is Morley. Hunter's in. Hay. Almost beat Girdler. Put down by Farrell. Cunningham's pass. Finding Northey. 25 out from the line. Goulding. Angling across to the defence. New Love. 19 out. From Joint. For Goulding again. The kick. Well out in the field of play. Williams had a shot at it. Penrith have got it. Play by Gower. And Williams attempts to beat them to the 10-metre line. Falcon is on. Pulatura is off. Falcon is on. That's Gordon Falcon. Back on their own 20-metre line. McNamara. Northey has been busy for St Helens on the occasions that he's been used by his coach. Danny Farrell. Darren Brown. Gower. Thought he was going to kick. Carter puts a sprint on. Gets a good pass away. Oh, Girdler floating with the sideline. Williams is there, but pulled down by Hunt.
And that's a great tackle from Alan Hunt, and he's one player tonight who has defended pretty stoutly. That goes down as probably St Helens' best set of 6 in defence. Only allowed 35 metres to be gained in 5 tackles, and then when Penrith ran the football, see Hunt there, he came up with 1 tackle, then he came up with this one here. That's great work. Him and Goulding, at least they're prepared to get up off the ground and chase if a mistake has been made. Here's a run from Leatham.
One away from the Penrith line. Cunningham looking for the defence to come to him before he unloads. Now, Bill Harrigan will call it back. Steve Carter's off on a run in vain.
The Penrith players can't believe that wasn't knocked back and called play on. Let's just have a look. Pass here thrown by Hammond. I think they got a pretty good case.
I think it was propelled forward, Pete, and it hit him on the head. I think initially he might have propelled it forward just a couple of inches and it hit him on the head before it went back. This is Chris Joint. 35 away. Northey. Long. Hammond switching the point of the attack. That's Morley. Cunningham. Goulding again. High ball. Plenty of time for the chasers, but nobody wanted to contest the kick with Jorgensen.
I'm not quite sure what Paul Newlove was doing with that chase. He actually ended up having his back turned to where the football came down in the arms of Peter Jorgensen. Sid Domick comes in to take a bit of pressure off his forwards. We've got the number 4 come in for St Helens. I don't think he's ever going to catch the football facing that way.
Matt Adamson. Farah. Falcon. Loose ball, chance for Sullivan. Just inside the 30-metre line. Goulding. Long. Hammond. Hunt goes back on the left. And now Joey Hay. Hay is about 18 metres away from the line. Hammond. Long. Oh, bad pass out in front of Goulding. And the ball recovered there by Chris Joint. It's play on for the referee. Play on for St Helens. New Love. Newland draws the last line, and Arnold goes in to score. St Helens gets try number 3.
Well, it wasn't the most attractive try I've ever seen, but they got there in the end. Some sloppy ball handling. This ball from Falcon was just ordinary. They took their time, St Helens, they did well, and they got this good line set out to the left. Some bad passing, but the Penrith defence in the end just wasn't up to it. They fell off tackles, they let Joint get up and throw it, and then Newlove beat a couple. He goes straight through here, the inside defence can't even get him, and well done Paul Newlove, he's tried very hard tonight.
Yeah, in the end he actually had a choice inside and out to pass to. With a couple of players, Sid Domick came up with a missed tackle, so he's had a mixed night, been very strong in attack, but missed a few tackles. Now Goulding looking to get his side 2 points closer, and 2 points closer to that 10 margin that they're looking at to go through.
Goulding kick is spot on, beautiful kick. Straight between the uprights to convert Arnold's try. 32 points to 16. And I think some of the St Helens players thought that Bill Harrigan was going to stop it. But there was no knock on, and Paul Newlove was able to beat 2 more defenders before Danny Arnold arrived and put it over the line. Back off the boot of St Helens. No knock on for McNamara. Carter. Sean McRae has put a couple of players out there, particularly in the second half, that have done a bit of work. Morley for one, Northey for another. I don't think it's my imagination, but they appear to have stiffened up the defence a little bit. Adamson pulled down by Joint.
Well, the one thing the Panthers can't afford to do is to panic by looking at the scoreboard and realising that time is running out and the points just aren't happening. But a quarter of the game to go, they still need 30 points. They are capable of doing so, but they just can't afford to come up with drop ball, as we saw from Gordon Falcon at the other end of the field in that set of 6 moving up to the try.
Sullivan, Cunningham, Hayes. Just beyond his own 30-metre line. That's Morley now. Goulding. Long. Newland. Domick's underneath him. No gain. Sullivan. Goulding. A big boot on him. Marvellous kicking game. Jorgensen.
A couple of other possibilities tonight, Ray. As unlikely as it may appear, of course, if St Helens were to win this game, they would automatically go straight through. That would take them over Bradford. I think that's going to happen. But the other thing is that 10-point margin we're talking about, another converted try would take them to exactly that. And we are of the opinion that if that was the case and it finished now 10 points behind, of course they've scored more points than Bradford, they would probably still go through as well.
Gower supplying Carter out wide. Beautiful pass. Girdler, the winger, put his foot on the sideline.
Let's hope Steve Carter hasn't hurt himself here in a valiant attempt to get that football. No, he's up. It looked as though he might have picked up a shin injury or something here, chasing the kick from Williams. Girdler, the little flick. Let's have a look. Flag goes up, must have just touched the line. Carter, he just seemed to fall awkwardly here, and he did grab the leg.
Inside the last 18 minutes. Hunt. Tackler was Domick. Good low tackle. Newlove. On their own 40-metre line. The Saints. Goulding and Long go out. They find Morley. Morley with a long run, ending 35 metres away from the Penrith line. From Hayes to Goulding. A long for Long it was, and then Hammond. New Love. Sullivan comes back in. Across the park. Oh, straight through Sullivan. Hayes. Hunt was on his right. Ran away from him. Joey Hayes. The last for Cunningham. Cunningham will score. Well, there's not been a more deserving player of a try than this hooker, this dummy half, and very talented Kieran Cunningham.
Yeah, he's a super player, Kieran Cunningham, the best player I've seen for the Northern Hemisphere sides. Good ball here, put Morley straight through, and he took the right option too. He didn't throw the football when he could have done under some pressure. Cunningham gets across, and I made the point about getting within 10. It wouldn't take them over Bradford, it would take them over Warrington. Bradford, the problem would be Warrington that they would put out as the dummy thrown by Cunningham, taken by Girdler, and he carries Jason Williams over the line.
Well, Penrith now realise that the game is gone from them as far as scoring 47, winning by 47. And now St Helens have got a sniff, and they're starting to really hit their straps. They're playing some good football. Their defence is a lot better. They're spinning the ball out wide and putting on some angles, and they're playing very, very well. And they're catching Penrith out. Penrith now starting to miss a lot of tackles. Important kick, this one, from Goulding.
2 metres in. 20 up for Bobby Goulding. And out to the right of the uprights. 32-20. 32-20 with 17 minutes to go, just a fraction less.
Panthers 32. St Helens 14.
Penrith Stadium, hosting the last of the Visa World Club Challenge matches. And it would seem that Penrith are not going to be there in the quarterfinals. Nothing short of a miracle, really, would see them eclipse the 46 points that they came here to win by tonight.
No, ET and the boys are starting to breathe a little bit more easily now. Looked in doubt after 20 minutes. But as we believed when we came here tonight, there's never any doubt that St Helens were capable of scoring points. It was always going to come down to how good the Penrith attack was, if they could score enough to compensate for that. Tonight they've really thrown a lot of loose passes, and that's been the problem in not being able to get the required amount. Morley ducks under a tackle, takes it 42 out centre field.
On the sidelines, Andrew.
Well, just to try and, I guess, explain to the Penrith supporters, because they probably will blow up, some of them tomorrow, saying, well, look, we've won 6 out of 6 in this tournament and we have missed the finals. The bare facts are, for Penrith, they've got the worst defensive record of all the 10 Australasian clubs in this World Club Challenge. Over 6 games, they've conceded 22 tries now, and that is the worst of all 10 clubs. So they knew the rules before they started, and the defence just hasn't been up to it.
Goulding with a kick that we thought was going down the left of the ground. It came back on the right of the ground, and Girdler is 32 metres out from his own line. Penrith then by 12. Phil Adamson. The number 3 for St Helens, Long, is a very smart player, very talented player. He's left a couple of people grabbing at mid-air here tonight. It's him on camera. Sean Long. Penrith going across the 40-metre line. Big break by Jody Cole. Oh, he'll go all the way, will he? Ankle-tapping tackle 2 metres out.
And lost
held
the
by
football.
Goulding.
And lost the footy. You could say they bombed that one, Penrith.
Rab's got him, Fatty.
Well, good.
He'll score, he'll go all the way.
Well, he had support especially on the inside. Jorgensen was unmarked. He took him on, actually beat him and then tripped and dropped the ball. Oh, that's your best, Robs.
You obviously didn't think he'd score. Neither of you thought he would score, right?
He's never going to get across the line from
Okay.
there.
Thank you, Nostradamus. Nostradamus has struck again. Just inside the 20-metre line.
Where is that train you stopped?
Arnold. Northey. Cunningham. Low pass. Shocker. Long has to suffer the consequences. Darren Brown was the tackler. Goulding. Let's get out of here. Jorgensen. Thompson. Whoops. The shade high. Leatham. Much improved effort by St Helens. Joint. Boyd underneath. Falcon on the top. 23 is Northey. And from Cunningham. Hammond. Goulding again, drifting across. Decoy once, New Love the second time. Phil Adams and the tackler. Goulding trying to promote them. Long is after it. Running, scooping, pick up by Jorgensen. Support coming from Girdler, but he left it too long. And there's been a head clash.
Yeah, Joey Hayes is one of them. The other one is Peter Jorgensen, I think. Hayes did a good job to come from behind and force the ball loose as Arnold takes it over the halfway line. And he's still down receiving attention. Came from behind and clash of heads and shoulders, a bit of a worry as well.
I think they hit the hip of Northey. He's played very well tonight. Bang, Northey comes in with his big salmon and knocks them both out. But Penrith's handling errors, you can tell they're trying to win by the biggest margin possible. 17 handling errors now for the Panthers.
Just outside the 20-metre line. Pick a Vance. Williams from behind. Cunningham on the right for Goulding. And again, the big up and under. And that looks like Jorgensen. If it is, it's a very quick recovery.
Yeah, it's a great take from Jorgensen there. It's Phil Adamson juggling. Offloads to Domick.
Domic's on his way. How much speed is there? Arnold's got him covered. Comes back, the ball bouncing. For the number 17, Leatham. Pickavance. Leatham again. He looked at it as if to say, oh, not me. I don't want it again, not now.
Well, he's done very well. He's chased about 100 yards to get back there, and they kept throwing the ball to him.
Joey Hayes. He's okay again. Halfway line. And this was Domick's break. Down the right of the ground. Arnold had him covered. And then poor old Leatham trailing along like Banjo Patterson's dog. "33 metres out from the Penrith line. Pickavance. Did Banjo have a dog? Goulding. Chance here out wide. Now Penrith turning defence into attack through Jorgensen. Darren Brown's pass. It went forward.
Oh. Well, I don't know what to say. Last 5 minutes. Joey Hayes here trying to get up over Jason Williams, but Jorgensen shrugs a couple off, gallops away, finds some support in Darren Brown. He thinks he might as well offload to Bobby Thompson. Now St Helens, they'd have known coming into this game, obviously, that 10 points was the magic number. They're too shy of that, so they'll throw absolutely everything at Penrith here in the last couple of minutes. If there are any Australian clubs who've got any hooking problems, they will be lining up to get the signature of Kieran Cunningham if it's at all possible.
I think Rebo's already signed him, Peter. Mueller. I think Jonathan might have his name on a contract before the others, if it's at all possible. Gilding. Gower and Williams put a shadow across it. What have we got? 6.5 to go.
St Helens, this might be their last opportunity to get that 10. It's a pretty good kick-off, but well taken by Long, who's just about doing St Helens' best tonight, along with Cunningham.
It's not hard to see why St Helens are one of the glamour sides of the Euro Super League, isn't it? They really like to throw the ball around. They're a very exciting team. Great supporters there, all watching around Knowsley Road.
Heard of Dwyer used to play for them.
He did, apparently, yeah. Play with him now.
Pick a Vance. 15 out from the Penrith line. Gilding turning it in for Chris Joint. Floating it back for Pickavans. Pulled down by Farah.
This is where Newlove's got to get involved. He's the most dangerous player this post to the line. As Long tries.
Oh, he's gone straight through! Well, he's run through the curtain like it was opening night. In one side, out the other.
Well, we've bagged plenty of English players with their defence tonight. Sean Long, who's been very, very good tonight, embarrasses two Penrith players here. He goes straight through. He'll get a better shot. I'm sure that the Panthers players involved don't want to see this shot. Big Phil Adamson's one, I'm not sure of the other.
He deserves that try too. He's played very well. I thought he played well against Cronulla a couple of weeks ago. And he puts the head down almost like a dart through the gap.
Yeah, Sean Long gets another try for St Helens.
Well, can they win the game yet? They might even win it.
Settle.
Get on.
32-24.
Helens' biggest problem will be stopping the opposition from scoring in this last 4 minutes. Now that's all they've got to do to get through to the quarterfinals.
They've had a lot of possession in the second half as they convert. 6 points the margin. And here's the human dart, Sean Long. He's been their best. Peter said it earlier. And I tell you what, it'd be hard to take that mantle away from him. Vossi on the sideline.
Oh, look, I was just going to say, there is one last piece of hope for Penrith, although the Halifax fans can get on with me. If Halifax beat Brisbane tomorrow morning our time, Penrith will still make the finals.
Yeah, that'll happen.
What's the point start?
Andrew, thank you for that.
And the thing for St Helens here is that they still can afford to have a try scored against them, but it cannot be converted. 10 points would get them through. They would overtake Warrington as Domick has taken high. Call play on from Harrigan. Under 4 to go.
To Adamson. Jody Gall. Danny Farah. Arnold back at fullback. Beats Farah, taken by Girdler. 2.5 to go, Joey Hayes. The point being, Andrew, what I was saying, thank you for that.
Well, I'm still down here.
At least you've got some idea. Archimedes in the box hasn't got any idea.
Well, I'm down here looking for Banjo Patterson's dog.
Hunt. Cunningham. Joint. Pick of Vance. Goulding. Jorgensen on his way back. Had a lot of work to do tonight. Peter Jorgensen. Brown. I was making the point that Penrith have been required to do a lot more defending in the second half. The tackle count was around about level at half-time, and Penrith have been required to make something like 180 tackles. St Helens 155. This 6 points from margin.
This is where Bobby Goulding's got to come in and just say, look, nothing silly. And take it exactly like this from Hammond, one out stuff, and in the end, get a kick away. They don't need to string together passes. They don't really need to score the try.
Alan Hunt. Joey Hayes. Hunt one more time. Girdler and Adamson combining inside the last 60 seconds. St Helens on their way to the quarterfinals. Williams. Thompson. Back at his own 10. Falcon. Gower. Long pass. Finding Domick on the extremity on the right. Sullivan's after him. Domick's away from him, but oh, great cover by Long. Sean Long. Beautiful try earlier, and then magnificent cover. Reminded me just for a moment of a very famous Canterbury number 7. 32-26. Penrith over St Helens, but St Helens go